Hello everybody and a sunny welcome back to HR Nomad TV. Today I want to tell you something more about psychological safety, in particular to you who are leaders of a startup team or founders. The question is, now in times of Corona and in these insecurity times, should we show our insecurity as a leader? Should we name it? Should we show it? Or should we stay strong in order to be the strong pillar in the company and giving teams more hope? So tricky times. And I want to give you an example about myself. I've been now also in a high insecure state, and I've needed the last days some Corona break. So I was really, kind of worn out. I had so many things to do, even more than normal. I had so many clients and so many questions to talk about. Also in private life, there was a lot of change. My grandmother died, but she lived 800 kilometers away from here. I could not even visit her for her funeral. So a lot of emotions and fear and grief and everything came at the same time. Financial insecurity, how to survive. I have also responsibility for people, and I did not know how to get there. I need to take notice and tell people not to continue the contract, etc. So a high insecure situation, and I'm telling this to you now. So I'm naming it. Now it is to you, up to you. How do you feel? Can you relate to that? Can you not? And I will give you my advice, what helped me out. And now I feel it's getting better. And I name it 4 steps that you can consider to maybe give psychological safety. Psychological safety, what is it? It is something for yourself, but even more for your team. Right now, Corona situation has more or less becoming the new normality. Everybody knows what to do. The big hectic, the big stress at the first weeks is getting down, but still insecurity is still under the surface. And also for you, is the same for your employees. They maybe are not knowing how long this situation will last, how long they can stay in the company, or should they already apply to somewhere else. And they feel not safe maybe, and even if they don't tell it or don't say it to you, there still is insecurity. So my first advice would be for you, number 1, to go first. Like I just did, just to tell you or tell your team how you feel in this situation. Open a space and tell about your own situation. It's up to you how open you want to be. You don't have to talk about relationship issues or anything that feels too intimate. But maybe if you feel ready and you've already a good trust relationship, just name it. What happens is you give psychological safety, you open a space, and by leading, as example, by leading as a first mover, you invite also your team members to follow, and they will gain trust also to talk about their own fears and their own situation, and it will release stress. It will release your own stress, and it will release the stress that your team members have. And as well, it becomes more transparent to you how the situation is actually in your team. Don't just talk about the business in your dailies or in your weeklies and your video conferences. Take extra time for also the feeling part and how to release this kind of fear. Number 2 is be authentic. Don't play a role. They will feel it anyways. Don't think your employees are stupid. think about your own situations when you had your own leader, when you were learning still to become, to develop your own career. Maybe you had good leaders or bad leaders. Remember how you felt in this situation. Try to remember what was particularly good in that leadership. And most probably, or most people that I get feedback of, is they feel really best when their leaders are really authentic. So they don't play a role. They are really showing what they can, what they cannot do. They're naming the things. They're really transparent. And you don't need to be perfect. I know, particularly for some guys, some girls even as well, have some maybe education to not show feelings, or to be the strong guy, to not be, to be more untouchable, or to maybe they have the role, or they think the role is to be always knowing the solution. No, you don't. How should you? For everybody, now the situation is new. So be authentic. This is not the role you should be playing. So, and the thing is, people will feel if you're really authentic or not. And this subconsciously will always stay under the surface. So be brave, show yourself. And you don't have to fear to be in a bad image after. It's more likely to have the opposite. People really value your honesty, and they will think of you in a more human way. They will find you more sympathetic. Of course, you don't need to be, crying all the time and showing like this. Of course not. You should be authentic in a confident way. But it's not a flaw. It's not a weakness. Actually, it's a strength to open up and show it to your team. Number 3 is name it to tame it. If there's a particular problem in your team, in maybe you cannot pay the next payroll, or there's maybe high insecurity if the startup will survive, or anything else that is really in the air, people will also feel it. They sense it, and even now they might be even more attentive to these kind of signals and try to seek security and safety. So if you name it, the problem, the situation, you will tame it. So this means be transparent to the actual problem, to the actual situation. Really tell people openly and transparent what is this actual situation. And also maybe you say, okay, I'm insecure myself, or I don't know at the moment how we can solve this problem. But at the same time, I'm confident together we will find solutions. So, and really, if you name it, people will have something to put the label on, to the feeling, the subconscious feeling that they were sensing all the time. So it's actually giving psychological safety to them rather than making it insecure, feeling them insecure. So basically it's the opposite what most leaders think. Fourth step is trust. You could also put it as a label everywhere in all business life in general or in daily life. Trust yourself and trust your team members. You can show yourself. It is okay, even if you don't know everything. You don't have to be Superman, Superwoman. You do your best. You show it transparently, of course. But if you don't know the answer to everything, that's okay. So, and maybe you are brave and you can ask for support. Ask your team to support you. And maybe together you can find solutions. So, or they have contact, network, any other creative ideas that you would never think of yourself. So invite them to find solutions together. This is even more bonding and creating more psychological safety than anything else. And look at this. The crisis is even your big chance to grow together as a team. If you find this kind of solution, if you go these steps, this is a great chance that you will really have such a strong bond that even after the crisis, you can just skyrocket and everything will be really great. So these are the 4 steps for today to get psychological safety to your team. And to answer the question, should we as leaders show our insecurity? My answer is absolutely. You are human and you're trusting yourself, you can trust others, and it makes it even easier for everyone to deal with the situation. So be brave, and if you have questions, let me know. Subscribe my channel or write a comment. I'm happily answering your questions. See you next time. Bye bye. Have a good one.